If you really want to get an order on Fiverr as soon as possible, there are actually ways you can actually set a brief on Fiverr so that you can be able to get order on Fiverr as soon as possible. If you are into any niche, or specifically if you are into uh, Pinterest marketing, and also you want to set a brief that you think it's best perfect for your rate or for your service or skill you actually rendering on Fiverr. But then there are things they actually need to consider before you set a brief on your gig or on your profile. You actually need to look into some existing seller in that your niche, so you see how much price they have in their own certain gig. So once you see how much they have in their own setting, this will definitely help you in setting up your own perfect brief that will definitely lead to order on Fiverr. You need to make sure your gig is between the average. As you can see on my screen right now, there are some seller as a Pinterest marketing manager who offer a starting price of $5, $10, $10, $100, and then 55, 200, 300, 200. You can see there are different types of prices there, and you literally know there are some sellers that will definitely search or put their budget between $5, $10, $15, and $20, and thereabout. But if you want to make sure you are in between the market, so that any brief a buyer puts, or any budget the buyer puts on a buyer request option, you will be among the people to be able to get a brief on that particular project, and then you can apply for that certain job. So the best way for you to do is to check on the existing seller prices to see, because there are some sellers that will have already see all these prices, but then due to the fact that their budget is not within the price listed on some existing sellers gig, so they prefer to go straight up to the buyer request option to put their own perfect price, and they are going to explain everything they need within their own project. So with this, you have to set a brief between an average that is not too high and also not too lesser, so that you'll be able to work within that brief as you set it on your profile. So to set a brief on your Fiverr account, you can come down to, once you log into your Fiverr account, literally after setting up a gig, publishing up your gig, this is where you end up seeing, which is your Fiverr dashboard. So on that, you can click on the drop down, my business. So then click on gigs. So under this gig, that is where you are going to set a brief for your profile, and then once a buyer apply or set or request for a project or post a buyer request option, you are going to get a brief, and then you can be able to apply for that particular project. As you can see on my own brief right now, I set it from $15 upward. So if there is any buyer that post a request on Fiverr buyer request, then the budget is from $15 upward. Fiverr is going to mail me or send me a notification here that there is a new brief I can actually apply for, where a buyer request for my service. Then I can come down to the request and apply for that particular job, and also put in my own cost, how much it will cost me to do that particular job. And if the project, as it's explained by this buyer, is between the budget, the brief I actually put in my brief option on Fiverr buyer request, then I can just apply for that particular project within my brief, and there won't be any question whatsoever again. So this is how you can actually apply for buyer request, and how you can set a brief for your buyer request to be able to get order as soon as possible. So this is as easy as possible. If you have not set in a brief before, you can just click on set here. Instead of from $15, you see set instead. So once you click on set, then you can put your price here. Once you put your price, then you can click on save, then click on save here. Then if there is any known buyer that post a brief or post a buyer request, you'll be able to get notification on your email and on your Fiverr account on the notification section here. Then you can apply for that project as soon as possible. Don't forget, you are not the only one that will be seeing this brief. There are tons of sellers who already have a brief just like you on Fiverr. So as soon as you apply for that particular job, as soon as the buyer will reply to it, and you can be able to get the order as soon as possible. So this is all I have for you in this video on how you can actually set a brief on Fiverr and how the Fiverr brief features actually works nowadays, and you can actually use this method to get order on Fiverr as soon as possible without taking long time or taking much stress of you applying for a job using buyer request section here, applying for different kind of job, and then at the end of the day you will not be able to get the job, or even the buyer might not even see your request on his or her request dashboard. So as you can see, there are also lots of buyer request section here, and due to the fact that this account is already a level 1 account, that's more reason why I can see the buyer request offers. So if you are actually a new seller on Fiverr, you might not be able to see any of these requests whatsoever. Instead, you can just make use of the brief on Fiverr, then you can use it to apply for a job, and job will come to you easily. So this is all for you in this video. If you have any question regarding this video, you can drop a comment and I'll reply to it as soon as possible. Thank you, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel as it really means a lot to me. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.